Hey there guys, this is just a little video for you today. I'm going to show you how I made this card, which was really popular when I loaded it up on my Instagram and Facebook pages. So I wanted to show you how easy this one is to do. We're using the So Many Stars stamp set. Although, to be fair, the only stamp I'm actually using out of this one is the Season's Greetings. And also I'm going to be using a little bit of ink in the background here and a couple of different design elements, but what I am using is the matching Stitched Stars bundle. Okay, so the dies, the dies that actually match the stamps. So I have already gone ahead. I'm going to be using this one, this beautiful flourish, and you can see it here behind, and you can see also some small stars and a little detailed star here on top. So that's this one here, that one, so this star, this flourish, and also the two stitch stars that are here on top. So for that I used the second largest star and the next one down, so the third largest star, which I just need to take off here. So let's get those things happening and make the card. Here we go. So these are the only ones we're going to need, these stars and these two little framelets here. Alright, and I'm starting with a piece of Petal Pink. Now the reason I've gone with Petal Pink today, I mean you could do this in any colour, but the reason why is I love the way Petal Pink looks with copper, and I'm using copper elements with this card today. So I'm just going to fold. I've actually taken a full piece of A4, or if you're using letter size cardstock, doesn't matter, just chop it in half straight down the middle vertically. And so my measurements will be up on the screen for you. In metric, this is 10.5 centimeters across, and I'll have both metric and also imperial or US measurements for you. Alright, pop that aside. I'm now using a piece of, this is our new Fluid 100 watercolour paper. You can use any watercolour paper for this, but I do love the new Fluid 100 because it's really smooth. So it's less textured than the previous watercolour paper that we had. Once again, measurements will be up on the screen for you right about now. And I'm going to use my Petal Pink ink, which of course matches the Petal Pink card base. And I've got here an aqua pen. And I'm actually going to squeeze my ink pad while it's still closed really hard and open it up. And what that does is it puts some ink here on the lid, and I can now pick up with an aqua pen, squeeze a little bit of water through, and I'm actually going to use this as a palette. Alright, so I want it to be pretty wet so that it is easy to spread, and I'm going to make it like a bit of a wash in the middle here. So I'm going to kind of just add a little bit, and it doesn't really matter how that looks because it's just meant to be a bit of background. I might add a little bit more color through here. Okay, and that's all you have to do with the background. There's a little bit of a hair there, let me get that off. Once again, doesn't really matter. And then I've also got two stamps. Now I'm actually using the Beauty Abounds stamp set for this. These are great for backgrounds. So it's this Beauty Abounds one with the butterflies. I'm using these little circles and these little circles. So I've already got those on blocks, and I'm going to bring in my Petal Pink ink, and I'm going to ink up the first one. And I want this to sort of go up towards the top left corner, just like that. And I'm going to have another one heading down here towards the bottom right corner. It's just meant to be kind of something of interest happening in the background. And the smaller one, I'm going to have that coming off here, just like that. You can wait for it to dry. It will bleed a little bit if you don't, but that doesn't really matter. We're just after a background effect. And then I'm going to start putting my elements together. So I've already gone ahead and cut the stars that I mentioned to you before, the second largest and third largest square. These two I have run through my die cutting machine already. The biggest one I did in Blackberry Bliss because I like the way it looks with the Petal Pink. And then the next size down, I cut from the Mercury glass acetate, designer acetate. I love this stuff. I've been using it a lot, and it's a really nice effect on this card. Now, I was worried at first that maybe the Mercury glass wouldn't go so nicely with the copper, but I think I've disproved that because it looks fabulous. It just seems to look good with everything. So to attach it to the Blackberry Bliss piece, I'm going to use some glue dots. And it's very, very easy to hide your Mercury glass, your adhesive when you're using the Mercury glass, because you just pop it behind thicker parts of the designs where you can't see those glue dots. And it doesn't matter if they're not right on the end, we just want it to hold them in one place. And I'm just going to pop that right here on top of my Blackberry Bliss cardstock star. So now I have my little Mercury glass star on top of the Blackberry Bliss star, so that's ready to go. And I've also got here my background flourish. Now I have already cut this out of copper, as you can see, but what I have been careful not to do was I left all the pieces in because I wanted to show you that when you actually go to push these pieces out, they do come out fairly easily. But the really cool thing is there are 5 little stars that also come out of this piece. So here's 1, 2. So not only are you cutting the flourish, but you're also cutting the stars at the same time. So it's kind of like a double duty. So if you just needed 5 stars, you could just cut the flourish and you've immediately got your 5 stars. You haven't got to cut 5 stars individually. There they are there. And I'm just going to push out these last couple of pieces. And I just love the way this copper looks with the petal pink. It's just really rich. It's beautiful. Push out all the rest of the pieces. Doesn't take very long. Just about got all of them. I have got a little pokey tool here that I can use. This is on the end of my Take Your Pick tool just to push out any final pieces. And the ones in the middle, it doesn't matter too much because we're going to cover those up anyway. So it's more the ones on the end that matter, the ones that are sticking out. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, so this piece here is going to end up right across the middle of my card like that. So just to hold this down, I don't need to be, I could even use snail. The problem with using snail adhesive is it can actually rip this when you put it on. So instead, I prefer to add a little bit of Tombow, and I'm just going to add a little bit in the thicker part of the design of the die, just knowing it's going to be covered up anyway. I just want it to hold it in place. So let's push that right there in the middle. This one is going to go on dimensionals. So the cool thing when you're using dimensionals is you can actually use big ones. You don't have to, if you want to have your points pushed down, you could use your mini dimensionals right there down towards the end of the points, but your regular size dimensionals will go far enough down for this star to be attached quite well. Just like that. I'm going to take the backs off them. I've got new fingernails. I mentioned this on one of my other videos, and it's not as easy as it used to be to get the backs off. They're not quite as, whoops, I didn't hold that quite as well. Don't worry if your piece in the middle, your copper piece, does move a little bit, because this is going to go straight over the top and it's definitely going to hold it in place. Just push that down. And you can see if I wanted to, I could actually come back in here. I'm thinking I might sharpen up this little bit of, a little bit more here. Just not quite happy with how sharp that is. There we go, that's fine. And I don't even think it matters that it looks a little blurry now. I kind of like that look. All right, there is another star here, which is also, this is from the other one that I brought over before out of the same set, this little detailed star. And to attach that, I'm just going, I've already pushed all the pieces out of this one. I'm just going to add a bit of Tombow multi-purpose glue in the middle there, because that's all you need, just to hold it right in the middle. And I'm just going to offset that a little bit, just like that. It doesn't really matter if that's not exact. Totally up to you. And we just want to hold that long enough for it to actually stay in the middle. Once that glue dries, it's good to go. I'm going to do the same with these little stars, tiny bit of glue. How quick and easy is this card for a really pretty card? Okay, one star here, maybe a smaller one up the top here. Whoop. Stick into my finger because my fingers are sticky. And then maybe a medium-sized one or a large one. It doesn't really matter, you know, just use your imagination. You can pick any star you like the look of. I have one over here on this side. There we go, just like that. The final thing I'm going to do to this is I'm going to add my Season's Greetings from the So Many Stars stamp set. And I'm using Blackberry Bliss cardstock, sorry, ink, because it matches the Blackberry Bliss. I have trouble saying Blackberry Bliss. That messes my tongue up. I'm just going to add that to the bottom here. So Blackberry Bliss ink to match the cardstock. Right. The last thing I'm going to do, and you probably could do this before you added the other bits too, especially if your bits are going over the edges. I'm just going to zip around the edges with the Petal Pink ink just to give it a nice little edge. Oh, and I just took that off because it's not dry yet. Let's try. It would be easier to do before you stick your flourish on, to be honest, but it's not too bad. Now on the back of this, some dimensionals. Look, star just stuck to my finger. Let's pop it back down, shall we? That's what happens when you got sticky fingers. A dimensional in each corner. So that really is all there is to this simple little card. And like I said, everyone went crazy on this one on social media. Everyone thought it was lovely and said, please make a video. I'm like, really? It's so easy. But sometimes it's nice just to watch, even if it's easy, it's nice to watch somebody else create something that you enjoyed. All right, this now goes in the middle of the piece that we originally folded. So we're just going to make sure that that looks just like we want it to look just there. That piece has fallen down, but that's fine. Spare dimensional back. There we go. Look, now we have two. I hope you like those, guys. Really, really easy cards using the So Many Stars bundle. And of course the matching framelits that go with the stamp set. They are just beautiful. I love them and I'm using them a lot. You may have seen I've got another card to come that's a special fold card, and you'll see that one go up in the next few days, and that's with the same stamp set. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss when I upload all these lovely things that are out for Christmas in our beautiful holiday catalogue. If you're in Australia and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please feel free to use my shop online link. I will put the details of my, my shopping areas into the description. Have a fantastic day and enjoy. Bye.